What is going on, everybody? Zionic here, and in today's video I'm going to teach you guys how to team build in Pokemon Go for Go Battle League, as that is probably one of the toughest things to do, especially if you guys are new to Pokemon Go PvP. Team building can be very daunting, and as my day is show you guys a philosophy or a strategy formula, however you guys want to describe it, that you guys can apply to your own Pokemon and your own teams to give you guys great success in Go Battle League. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to show you guys a resource that is free where you guys can team build on, that'll give you helpful suggestions, so your guys' weaknesses and strengths, you guys can really get to know what your team is going to be good against and bad against. On top of that, I'm going to be showing you guys teams that I have built with these philosophies that have gotten me rank 10 in previous seasons, in Season 3 and Season 4, and show you guys why it works and how it works. And I'll be doing all of that in this one jam-packed video full of information. So if you guys enjoy this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And for everyone of my veterans and new battlers out there, be sure to share this around to help out new players who are coming to Go Battle League here in Season 6 starting very soon. Alright, so team building, right? It's a tough thing to really dive into if you haven't experienced it yet or don't know really where to start. But there's a simple formula that I love to use and I apply it to all of my teams. That is going to be the lead, the cover, and the safe swap. Teams in Pokemon Go are built on 3 Pokemon, and whatever you decide to lead with, you always need protection in the back. That's what that cover is, the hard cover. But you also need something called a safe swap. Now what a safe swap does is if you lead, let's say, a water type Pokemon like Blastoise and you face off against a Venusaur, which is going to be a lead loss, you guys want to swap into a counter that is what we call a safe swap. This will provide you great mid-game advantage. It'll not only counter that lead Pokemon you faced off against, but it has potential to get shields from your opponent or flip the fight if they bring in a different Pokemon. And don't worry, that sounds like a lot. Like, how do you know the safe swap? We will get into that with the teams. I will give you guys examples and all of that. But that is the philosophy. I am here to teach you guys the philosophy, teach you how to fish. I'm not only going to teach you how to fish, I'm going to give you some fish as well here for Go Battle League. Now, first and foremost, before we get into the teams and everything, I want you guys to understand that there is no such thing as a perfect team. Every single team in Go Battle League that you will ever face off against or use will always have a weakness. But what you want to do is try to minimize the relevance of that weakness. So what you guys are going to see later in this video, one of my teams is super weak to electric type Pokemon. But in the meta from Season 3 and Season 4, electric type Pokemon weren't commonly seen because of a Galarian Stunfisk. So with that philosophy, whenever you guys team build, whatever Pokemon you guys decide to use, whatever season, whatever league, make sure that your weaknesses, which will be shown here in the video where you guys can find them, are not common. That's the important thing. If your whole team loses hard to a Azumarill in Great League, then you guys need to rethink the team. Now, the resource that I cannot preach enough, if you guys have not been on pvpoke.com, I highly suggest it. Every single battler who has ever hit rank 10 in previous seasons, who has hit leaderboards, every single one of them uses PvPoke. I'm telling you right now, this is the best place to be. It's a free website that you guys can access on your phones and computer and whatnot, and it has amazing sections in here that'll help you understand the game better. And this game is all about information. The more you know, the better you can be. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the rankings and the team builder section today, and we'll talk about why. So first, we're going to talk about the team builder section. We're going to go through examples here, show you guys how you can build teams and philosophies behind. So let's build a team, shall we? So let's start with maybe a team that is readily accessible to you guys. You guys can get all of these Pokemon. There's no legacy moves and stuff like that. We're going to be doing this in the Great League as well, which is a great place to team build because it has the widest breadth of Pokemon available that can be utilized to face off against the meta. So let's add a Pokemon here. Let's go with Whiscash. Whiscash recently had a spotlight hour the other night on Tuesday, which is really nice. It has great coverages on the meta, has access to Mudshot, Mud Bomb, and Blizzard. It's very cost effective as well. 10,000 Stardust to unlock a second charge move, and this is going to be that recommended moveset that you guys want to have. So we're going to go ahead and add in Whiscash. Now, You guys may already know what the second Pokemon should be because our lead right there, we need a hard cover, but let's break it down why. So let's go ahead and hit the rate team here. This is going to give us a meta breakdown against the most common Pokemon or the best Pokemon that you guys will probably see in the Great League meta. So if we scroll down, we're going to see that Whiscash can beat Galarian Stunfisk. That's very nice. It loses to Azumarill and Mantine, those of which can still be winnable. That's a soft loss. You can beat Defense Form Deoxys and Registeel. You lose to Scrafty, you lose to Sirfetch'd, you lose to Primeape, you lose to Abomasnow, Tropius, Venusaur, Meganium. You guys starting to see a trend here. Fighters and Grass can kind of take down that Whiscash. Grass especially, right? It is a water ground type Pokemon, so you're taking double damage basically, or double super effective from Grass type Pokemon. So we need something to cover that. As you can see, it's going to give us a breakdown right here of potential threats. And like I said, Grass type Pokemon, Tropius, Grotle, Shiftry, Meganium. It's just grass, 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 all the way down. So what we need is a Pokemon that can beat Grass-type Pokemon. Not only beat them, but absolutely wall them, cover them, make them wish they didn't face off against your Pokemon. And there's a lot of different options. You guys could go Altaria, you guys could go Abomasnow, Venusaur, Skarmory, Castform Snowy, Noctowl. There's so many different options here, which is why I said you guys are not limited. This team builder helps give you ideas and suggestions for this team. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go with a staple of the Great League, and that is going to be Skarmory. Skarmory is an absolute monster, and if you do not have a counter to it, it can overtake games because of its bulk and just raw damage that it can put out with that Brave Bird. So we're going to go ahead and add this in here. You guys definitely want to have Air Slash, Brave Bird, and Sky Attack. I would highly suggest unlocking that second charge move. If not, just go with Sky Attack. You guys will be okay. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. Now, what we have here is a great lead and a great cover. They have great polarities on each other. Oh, the rate team is still generating right here. Okay, there we go. We got it in. They have great polarities on each other. So look at this down at the bottom. Tropius hard counters Venusaur, but Skarmory hard counters Tropius. That's what we want to see with the lead and the cover. They have great polarities. That way, if they decide to swap in a Tropius on your Whiscash, you can just swap in your Skarmory and hard lock that down. That's what's important. But what we need to figure out here is our safe swap, something that merges this team together, not only in coverage, but able to flip bad leads or get massive shield advantage to help you out, which really helps out with Whiscash because it has access to Blizzard. So if you're able to farm something down and they have no shields, you can hit that Blizzard against that Grass type Pokemon and basically one-shot it. Now you guys can go the route of adding in a Pokemon here that PvPoke suggests, but that is not always going to be the best safe swap. Safe swaps are hidden. They come with experience and knowledge, knowing, okay, how can we merge this team together? Now, a great place to start when you guys are looking for your safe swap is actually in the rankings. If you guys head over to the Great League rankings, you can actually change it to switches, the best Pokemon to switch from in an unfavorable lead. This will give you a great listing. Now, just because the Pokemon ranked here are the highest ranked doesn't necessarily mean that's what your team needs. Again, you need to critically think about what is that lead losing to and how can we cover that. For our situation, we know a few things. Firstly, we're kind of weak to fighters, and we're also weak to grass type Pokemon, and the most common grass type Pokemon could potentially have that poison typing as well. We're filtering it here by psychic type Pokemon to take a look at some of the rankings, and that's when I notice, oh, okay, maybe Hypno right here. Hypno is one very bulky, which is going to allow you to not necessarily have to shield charge moves. It has access to Confusion as a fast move, which does super effective damage to fighting type Pokemon and poison types. And there's a lot of grass poisons in the meta, being Venusaur and Victory Bell. On top of that, you can have access to Shadow Ball, maybe help you out against those Alolan Marowaks, or do super effective damage against other psychic type Pokemon. You also have access to different punches. Look at all these different charge moves you guys have. You could roll with Thunder Punch, you could have Fire Punch. You could even go double punch Hypno. You could go Thunder and Fire. But for this instance, we'll just stick with the Thunder Punch right here. So we'll go ahead and add that in. And what this has successfully done now is given us a strong core meta team that doesn't have legacy moves, that has great bulk so that you guys don't have to necessarily shield every charge move that is thrown at you. It gives you coverages to lead losses, so something like a Meganium, a Hypno can handle. You can flip matchups, so maybe they bring in another Hypno as well into you. You're ahead on energy, you can land Shadow Balls, etc. Sandshrew. This team is very, very bulky. Now, there are other Pokemon you can run. Maybe you run Swampert on the lead instead of Whiscash. Swampert with the Legacy Community Day move of Hydro Cannon. But I wanted to build this team to show you guys an example that you don't necessarily have to have a Azumarill. You don't have to have Community Day moves. You guys can have a strong team of Whiscash, Skarmory, and Hypno that will perform well against the meta, and with the philosophies of getting shields or winning switch advantage can really set you up well. Now, you may be saying, okay, that's great, you built a great team, but what are the weaknesses? Okay, let's go ahead and scroll down. We're in potential threats, which you guys scroll down to the bottom here. We can see that our potential threats are going to be a Snowy Castform, not really seen in the meta. Galvantula, not too popular. It was popular when it first came out, but Galarian Stunfisk really shut that down. Swampert. Swampert can be managed with this team. Confusion, Shadow Ball, Mud Bombs, Sky Attacks, Brave Birds, it can be handled. Dugong can be handled as well. Thunder Punch, Sky Attacks, Brave Birds, Mud Bombs, access to Shadow Claw, Grass Knot, and Thunder, so it can really break apart this team, but it's not common. You want to be more consistent with the Pokemon that we will most commonly see, because that wondering, okay, great, thank you for that team example, but I don't have those Pokemon. How can I find Pokemon that are good that I can build teams around? That's what the rankings are for. If you guys just head up to the see on my screen right now with a grain of salt, they will likely change by the time you guys watch this video in the future or whenever you guys are watching it. So what you guys can do with the rankings, you can go to different leagues. So you can go to the Little Cup, which was seen in Season 5. You guys can go to Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. So let's go ahead and go in Great League. Not only that, you guys can change it from all Pokemon to different types of leagues. So for example, we saw the Kanto Cup in Season 5. You guys can filter that to Kanto Cup, and it's going to give you a listing of the best Pokemon from Kanto Cup. But for this video, we're going to stick with the Open Great League, which is all Pokemon readily available. This is a great way to start thinking about what Pokemon you should start investing in, what Pokemon you guys need to be on the lookout for and have good covers for. So like I said, Galarian Stunfisk has been a very strong meta Pokemon. It basically replaced Registeel when it came out. Thank goodness, because Registeel was tough cookie to deal with, but Galarian Stunfisk I think is much more manageable and flexible to face off against. So what you guys are going to see is, okay, maybe Galarian Stunfisk. Maybe we don't have one. You guys haven't hatched one from an egg just yet. You don't have any trades. You guys need to still be prepared for that, which is why we have Whiscash. Whiscash does well against it. And as you guys can see right here, you guys have key wins and key losses. This does not tell the whole story, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But key wins, maybe something like Skarmory, Altaria, and Bastiodon. Those are some nice key wins, even Galvantula as well, which is why I said we stopped seeing electric-type Pokemon when we saw Galarian Stunfisk rise to #1. Some key losses: Azumarill, Swampert, Whiscash. We just built a team with Whiscash, which means we automatically have a great cover right here for that. But this doesn't tell the whole story. Maybe you don't have any of these Pokemon listed right here. How can you find that Pokemon? On top of that, there's also the movesets here that you guys can see from every Pokemon as well. But what you want to do is click on the Stunfisk Galarian versus all Pokemon. This is going to give you a wide meta breakdown of Galarian Stunfisk versus every single Pokemon eligible in the Great League. And what you guys are going to see, it has an 82% win rate, which is very high. It's a very strong Pokemon, and that is why it's ranked #1. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have counters. What you guys can do is take a look here. Now, what I'm going to give you guys and tell you guys right now is the numbers right here. 500 is a tie. Above 500 is different from that key losses that we saw there. So you guys could run something like Ludicolo, which is fantastic, or Azumarill, Castform, Vaporeon, Vigoroth, Breloom, Golurk. The list goes on and on. This is why when I said when you're taking a look at a Pokemon and you guys are like fearful of it, maybe I don't know how to beat it. This is where you want to go. You want to find some key wins here with different Pokemon that you guys may have access to. Now you guys may be wondering, what was that team that you ran in Season 3 and Season 4 Go Battle League back when rating was there and you got rank 10 with it? That would be Skarmory, Shadow Machamp, and Azumarill. Now like I said earlier, every team will have its weakness, but you need to make sure that whatever that weakness is not commonly seen in the meta because different Pokemon are being run. So this team's weakness is going to be something electric type Pokemon, maybe something like Alolan Raichu. I would have a tough time with Alolan Raichu, but because of Galarian Stunfisk being so prominent in the meta, electric type Pokemon are not used too often. That doesn't mean they can't be run, but they're commonly not seen, especially as you climb higher in the ranks, the more dense the meta will become, which means Alolan Raichu really doesn't make the cut. Now in my previous Season 4 Rank 10 climb, I did 30 battles. I went from 2800 to 3000 rating, and I ran into one electric type Pokemon. You guys can see the video on the channel. I'll pop that up right here. We faced off against one electric, and we still won. It was an Emolga on the lead, which is really tough for this team to handle, but I was able to manage it. And that's why I'm saying in 30 battles, I only faced one electric Pokemon, which goes to show that when you guys build your teams, make sure your weaknesses are not commonly seen. So I wouldn't want my whole team to be destroyed by an Azumarill, right? Azumarill is going to be everywhere. So when you guys are team building, just make sure of that. Now what this team provided me with is fantastic coverage on the meta. With Skarmory on the lead, I was hoping to catch some fighters or some grass type Pokemon. If not, I'd look to see how I can win that matchup and maybe safe swap into Azumarill. Azumarill would draw out the grass type Pokemon if they had it. If not, I had a high chance of flipping that mid game. Now I also ran Azumarill without Ice Beam. I ran it with Play Rough and Hydro Pump, and that is due to the fact that safe swap Azumarills typically all run Ice Beam, so I will be threatening shields. But on the flip side of that, if I'm gonna go ahead and get a shield anyways from that grass type Pokemon, I can use Play Rough and Hydro Pump to face off against teams that don't have grass type Pokemon to give me better advantage. Maybe something like Defense Form Deoxys. This team did so well with shield advantage, especially with Shadow Machamp closing out endgame. As long as I kept a shield for it, it can destroy a lot of Pokemon in the meta, and that is due to the Rock Slide and Cross Chop damage. As we take a look at the X's and O's here, it's very dominant. There's a lot of Pokemon we can cover and a lot of great coverages. So for example, Bastion on lead is tough to deal with, but we have two great covers in the back. Or Tropius lead is tough to deal with our back end, but we have Skarmory. Plus the Rock Slide damage does super effective. Azumarill with Play Rough does a lot of neutral damage, plus we can threaten shields with the potential Ice Beam. Overall, this team's biggest weaknesses were electric type Pokemon and Haunter and Gengar, but we don't commonly see those, and that is completely manageable for anyone who has faced off against a Haunter and Gengar. You know that they have to start shielding charge moves, otherwise they go down to pretty much anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about team building in this video for Go Battle League. Was it helpful for you? Was it enlightening? Did you guys not know about PvPoke Team Builder? Have you guys utilized that to your full potential? Did me helping explain to you about safe swaps, how they may not actually be on PvPoke, but you have to think critically about what coverage do I need and what Pokemon can provide that coverage for you. So like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.